Good morning, everyone. My name is Virgil Breeden. Today is April the 19th, 2025. This is the fourth post that I have made in my war on corruption against the Mississippi courts and the terrible things they're doing to our Constitution and laws. This video was supposed to have been posted yesterday. I told you that I would have it then, but I went to Jackson Thursday, that was the 17th, as I promised you I would, to the Mississippi Department of Corrections. I made a couple of videos outside the department. I had a brief piece that my friend Danny Singleton, who came up to meet me and to support me, did, and I had some difficulties with those videos. You guys know I haven't been out of prison very long, and I'm having to take some time to familiarize myself with this iPad and with the social media and all of the things that go along with making videos and things like that. So the difficulties I had caused me to lose the videos that I did while I was at the Mississippi Department of Corrections, and I do apologize for the delay. There were 4 people who came to Jackson to support me. I'm surprised anyone came because we have just started this, and not a whole lot of people in the area knew that I was going to be there. But I am very grateful that they came to give us that support. I did contact WHLT, one Mr. Garrett, who works there. I sent him an email. I let him know that I would be there, what I was trying to do. He did not respond, nor did he show up. I realized that the media is often quite timid about taking on problems that involve our courts and those problems that involve the Mississippi Department of Corrections. I want to mention something here because it is important. We stayed overnight in Jackson, and at the motel, I happened to mention to the lady at the desk why I was in Jackson and that I had literally started this war against the corruption in our courts, and that I was going to approach some of the problems in MDOC because I know them very well and because of the fact I was locked up for 18 years. And when I told her that, she started crying. This was Miss Deanna, and she told me about her son who is locked up, and fortunately, I think about to get out, but about him having been hurt while he was in prison. And she was very, very supportive of what I'm about to do. There are many of you out there who have stories to tell. I have already given you my email address, but I do want to put it on here again. So if you're watching this, this is my email address. Please feel free to email me and send me your stories, whether it be those stories which involve our courts or the Mississippi Department of Corrections. I will read every one of them. I may not respond to all of them, but it depends on how much time I have. So please feel free to email me and let me know how you've been affected by the courts and how you've been affected by the problems in MDOC. This first trip, I went to the Mississippi Department of Corrections, and I went there specifically to do a couple of things. Number one, just to make an appointment to try and meet with Mr. Burl Cain, who is the Commissioner of MDOC, and to meet with Mr. Timothy Donovan, who was the acting medical director. I find out that he's no longer there, and I was going to ask for an appointment to meet with Ms. Gia McLeod, who runs the Inmate Legal Assistance Program. And I do apologize briefly one more time that I don't have the videos from outside of the department to where I met with my best friend, Danny Singleton, the individual that I mentioned to you already. We wrote a book together about his life story. It's called Sins of a Cajun Boy. You can find it on Amazon. This is the only trip that I will be able to make to Jackson this month. After the trip, I have right now a total of $12 to last me until the end of the month. And I'm certainly not complaining. I'm an old country boy. I'll be fine. Nor am I saying that because I want you to feel bad for me. The reason that I mention it is because I want you to understand that I don't mind making a sacrifice. What I'm trying to do is important, and it's important to every Mississippi citizen. So please don't feel bad on my account because of that. We all face the things that we have to face every day, and I know that many of you are struggling with so many things. I do want to make it very clear right here that the primary focus of this war that I have started and all of the battles that I'm going to be fighting focuses on the Mississippi courts, that is the Mississippi Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, all of the various courts across the state of Mississippi, the Federal District Court, which is filled with Mississippi judges, and even the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans. That is the primary focus because what they're doing to our Constitution is totally unacceptable. Approaching the Mississippi Department of Corrections is very important. There are many problems that I have seen over the years that I was incarcerated, but I did want to make it clear that I will be fighting for everyone. This is not about me. I've mentioned that a number of times already. There's nothing left of me. It's pretty well over with. I could fall over dead tomorrow. Heck, I'm 74 years old. This is about all of you, the people of Mississippi who are being hurt. And I'm going to carry this fight until it's over with or until we get the kinds of changes we need. We arrived at the Mississippi Department of Corrections a little before 8 o'clock in the morning, and we were met by Mr. Putnam. We were standing on the sidewalk, and he asked if he could help us. I would like to say something here, and it involves Mr. Putnam and a number of other people. Commissioner Cain, in his office in Jackson, has surrounded himself with an excellent staff. I told you before that whenever things were done that were good, that were correct, and that would benefit the state of Mississippi, that I would tell you that. I'm not here just to complain. Mr. Putnam is the auditor. He was a very gracious gentleman. We were invited in even before it was time to open the doors. We went in, we met Miss Schaefer. She works in human resources, a very nice, a very kind lady. She offered us water. We were allowed to have a seat and to wait until some other people came in. I explained to Mr. Putnam why I was there. We later would meet Dr. Ross, who is the chief of staff, I believe. Dr. Ross is an extremely intelligent woman, very perceptive. She is a PhD. She did her thesis, her doctoral dissertation. A thesis, of course, is what you do when you get your master's degree. She did her doctoral dissertation on the effect of Hurricane Katrina and the aftermath of that, a very contemporary subject. We met, I think her name is Ms. Laura, that's Mr. Cain's personal assistant, very efficient and very kind lady. We did not realize that we would be given an audience with Mr. Cain, but we were. We were there at 8 o'clock, and we were told that we could see Mr. Cain at 2 that afternoon. So we went around Jackson for a while and did a few things, and then came back, and we were allowed to meet with Mr. Burl Cain, the commissioner, a little before 2 o'clock. And I would like to say a couple of things here. My approach to the problems in the Mississippi Department of Corrections is adamant, just as my approach to the Mississippi courts. But I've told you that I would be fair. I was delighted at the kind of approach that Mr. Cain took whenever he spoke with us. The first thing I did was ask him for a job, and he kind of laughed. He said, "You're at war with me." I said, "No, I'm not. said, I'm at war with the courts, but I am approaching the problems in the Mississippi Department of Corrections, and I I want him to know that I will, of course, continue to be in contact. I suspect that I will develop a lot of frequent flyer miles. But Mr. Cain allowed me to speak on a number of different topics, and each time that I mention one of the topics that is very important in the department, he wrote that down. He took a few notes, and he actually paid attention. His interest seemed to be quite sincere, and his interest in changing the department also seemed to be quite sincere. The first topic that we discussed was the emergency need for a legal advocacy program in the system. I mentioned that he had sent me to Parchman 5 years earlier. Mr. Cain said that he had not been approached by a number of prisoners in relation to that particular topic, but I was locked up for a long time, and they approached me every day. People who didn't have the education, the cognitive skills, the background to be able to do things sometimes as simple as file a power of attorney. In fact, I had one individual who came to me and said, and I'm almost a direct quote here, can you help me do one of them powerful attorneys? Because I don't know how. I didn't say anything about his misquote because I understood what he was trying to do. Back whenever House Bill 585 came out, I had an individual come to me and ask me if it would be radioactive. Now, I realized that he was saying retroactive, or trying to say retroactive. I didn't make fun, I didn't laugh, but I did explain the parameters of 585. There are so many people who simply don't have the abilities to approach anything legal, whether it be something simple, a power of attorney, a durable power of attorney, or a limited power of attorney, or whether it's something like making a will, approaching their criminal cases, approaching a civil case, divorces. There's so many things that people need help with, and it is an emergency because they just can't do it, and they're left at the hands of what we commonly call jailhouse lawyers, who often know very little about the law, are totally incapable of helping them, but try and charge them canteen items and other things to provide that service. A legal advocacy program would pretty well do away with all of the problems that you have with the jailhouse lawyers. There are a number of people locked up who do have an adequate knowledge of the law, and they do an excellent job at trying to help people occasionally. Mr. Cain and I discussed the budget. The Department of Corrections has a budget upwards of $400 million. I think Mr. Cain said $460 million. I approached the fact that Mississippi Law 47-5-1 states that the department is supposed to be autonomous. Mr. Cain was well aware of the problems facing the department in trying to meet the needs of the department based on that budget, but it's still a situation where, if approached correctly over the course of 5 to 7 years, the department could become autonomous, as is suggested and almost required by the law. We discussed the canteen, the fact that the services being offered by Premier are in many cases a representation of egregious price gouging. Prisoners pay approximately $20 for a small 8-ounce bag of Folgers coffee. That's outrageous. You can go and buy 8 ounces of coffee retail, instant coffee, by the way. I have found prices ranging from $5.50 to $7.80, I believe. We also talked about the very emergent problem of medical care, and Mr. Cain discussed the plans that he was making to improve that. I did mention to Mr. Cain that I had 2 lawsuits that I was essentially filing on behalf of prisoners, one Mr. John Sakine and one Mr. James Van Lanningham, because they had been decidedly injured. This goes back to the previous medical provider, Centurion, and to the current medical provider, Vital Corps. I tried to call Ms. Viola Reagan yesterday. I did get in touch with Vital Corps. I told them why I was calling, who I was, and that I was suing them. I don't pull any punches. I don't try to hide anything. And did not get an opportunity to speak with Ms. Reagan, but I will be calling back. I found out that, as I said, that Dr. Donovan was no longer the medical director, and now we have Dr. Bell. I haven't met him or corresponded with him, but I will be calling him Monday. In regard to the medical care, there are so many problems like specialty referrals and diabetic care, and all of those things I'm going to be discussing with you in the future. I'm actually going to begin posting letters, if you will, or memos, because I don't want to take up so much of your time doing these videos. The problem is that to cover everything, it does take a little bit of time, and God knows I am so grateful to you for the interest that you take and for spending the time with me to understand what it is that I'm trying to do and what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. So after the meeting with Mr. Cain, I felt a lot better. Mr. Cain's approach was to sincerely look at those things that I offered to him. I think he was a little bit surprised that I was able to approach very serious problems. I did not approach him on anything frivolous. The sincerity that I approached him with, I hope, impressed him at least a little. And even though he told me that he would not hire me because I was at war with him, by the end of our discussion, I think he may have actually rethought that. I don't know that he will. He may laugh me out of Jackson, and if he does, that's all right. But I am going to write him a letter. I'll post that letter. You can read every word that I write to him, and I'm going to ask him for that job again, the one as director of a legal advocacy program, because I can set it up and have it going within 2 weeks. We can begin to help these people with their legal problems, with all of the things that they need help with. We can eliminate so much of the treachery that is involved with the jailhouse lawyer problems that we see. Now, I've only gone over a few of the things that we discussed. Again, Mr. Cain was very receptive, very cordial, and I appreciate that. He had an opportunity to read a flyer that I handed out, and I had hoped that he would, because I wanted him to see that and to understand why I was there. In fact, that might have been one of the reasons that he actually invited us in. But to those of you who have people locked up in the department, please let me know about the problems you're having. I don't know if this opened a door, for me anyway, to approach Mr. Cain. I hope that it did, because I did find him to be a very reasonable and very concerned individual. He has been the commissioner now for about 5 years, and I think he realizes that there are things which have not changed. Some of the things that need to be changed, Mr. Cain can take care of with a stroke of a pen. I'm going to suggest that to him. We spoke about the problems with smoking, for example. I have no problem nor any complaint about the department bringing cigarettes back into the system, tobacco. It is a good way for them to make a lot of money. I think Mr. Cain said that he had posted that the department had profited about $1.2 million off of the sales of tobacco. I thought that I had read it was $2 million, but apparently I made a mistake on that point. The other consideration for that is that there is no building that is designated as a no smoking building where people can go to get away from secondhand smoke. And that's a medical emergency, any way you look at it. Something that needs to be done right now, and that something that I'm going to suggest that Mr. Cain do with a single stroke of a pen. I can explain exactly how to do it. I've been there. I was in the buildings. I know what it takes to move people. We were actually put into a no smoking building because of a federal lawsuit that I was beginning to put together and about to file. Whenever the department found out that if I filed that lawsuit and filed the emergency TRO, an interlocutory, in the form of a TRO to go along with it, that they could possibly lose the ability to sell tobacco until that was taken care of. So it is an emergency. People that do not smoke right now are being harmed by smoke. And I told Mr. Cain, quite frankly, this is a problem that's going to come back and bite you in the, and I didn't say the word, but I did say someplace very uncomfortable. Because when these people begin to develop cancer and the various other problems associated with smoking, they're going to come back and sue. And I think Mr. Cain may have looked at that problem a little differently, and hopefully we can get something done in that regard very soon. I don't want to take up so much of your time. I know this gets old, and I know you think I just wax prolix every time I get on here and maybe talk a little too much, but I want you to understand, I want you to know what I'm trying to do, the approaches I'm going to make. Next month I'm going to try and get to the courts where the war on this disgusting corruption will begin. I will notify you of that. I will call the media. I will email the media. I will try to get all of the attention there that I possibly can. I will be back on the subject of the Mississippi Department of Corrections, but I do want right here, I do want to say thank you to Mr. Burl Cain for having given me an audience and for having showed me that he does have an interest in the problems that face the department, the problems of your loved ones who are locked up, their exposure to harm, the exposure of his officers to harm, the community to harm. The department is, as I have said, absolutely necessary. There are too many people who refuse to abide by the constraints of society, and they are going to have to be dealt with. But there are also people there that do abide by the rules. They do a great job for the department. They work, they take care of things that need to be taken care of. Without them, the department could not function at all. So let me try and get this wrapped up and let you know that my meeting with Mr. Burl Cain, Commissioner of the Department of Corrections, was very productive. I'm grateful to him. I'm going to be pushing to get the job that I told you about, to interview the people that I would like to interview. I'll probably wind up, as I said, with frequent flyer miles involving all of this. And I will be back in Jackson to approach the courts next month as soon as I get the funds to do so. I'm so grateful to all of you that have been following me, that have been taking the time to watch me talk, maybe a little too much. I just don't know what else to do other than to explain thoroughly. So please accept my gratitude. Please subscribe. Please give me a like. Every time you do that, it helps to push these videos out to more people. Whenever I get to the courts, I want a crowd. I want people to come out and be on those doorsteps. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to talk about all the things that the courts have done that I know of that are absolutely contrary to our laws and Constitution. And I will stand by that. I will not back down. I'm here to do this. It's not about me. It's about you guys. And I'm grateful to you. So I'll be signing off now. Thank you so very much. Don't forget to follow, and please let me know about any questions or about any stories that you have. I will look at every last one of them. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and have a good day.